And this, Brian, I didn't check the volumes. Is it possible the volume's down on that?
Could be.
No. I mean on this jack where plugged in.
On there, but now if that's the case.
Yeah. All right. So, can you put this computer in queue for or actually is it on air? It's supposed to be on air. Let's see. All right. So, but there's going to be a delay, so that's not going to help. Everything's on delay, and everything's on delay for several reasons. We're good. We're working now. Oh, there's audio. Thank you. So you got to tell me, like, after what the deal is.
Probably the headphone over there, but
over there again.
It might be.
Quick timeout right now. This is the Rich Stevens Show.
News Talk 850 WFTL. On the air and on the web. Look for 850WFTL.com. News, weather, traffic, podcasts, and live streaming.
When Hurricane Matthew roared through our region, were you one of the thousands of people struggling and...
Pounds or more, eating more fresh-made restaurant and supermarket food than you care to eat, so you're never hungry. There are no prepackaged meals. You get 4 weeks for just $66. 4 weeks for $66. Kids join free with parent enrollment. Some conditions apply. Visit quickweightloss.net. There are 17 locations from Miami to Vero. For one near you, dial **QUICK for a free consultation and get a text with even more savings. Message data rates may apply. Dial **QUICK on your mobile for quick weight loss.
Phil Cannella and Joanne Small are hosts of the Crash Proof Retirement Show every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 850 WFTL. You know, they've been working extremely hard to uncover wrongdoing in the financial industry, specifically in our South Florida area. And they've really become an incredible news source for listeners interested in politics and economics and finance, like many other experts. Phil Cannella and Joanne Small believe that the results of this presidential election, along with an interest rate increase, will be what sends the stock market into a panic. But that doesn't mean you have to panic. Phil Cannella and Joanne Small have a market crash prevention plan that guarantees principal protection and guarantees growth no matter what the stock market does. You have nothing to worry about. Learn more at the next Crash Proof Retirement Educational Event. It's happening Wednesday, November 9th in the Grand Ballroom at the Doubletree Hilton in Palm Beach Gardens. Now, the event starts at 5 p.m. It's followed by a complimentary dinner. Don't be fooled by the imitators. The exclusive and proprietary Crash Proof Retirement System is not available anywhere else in the country. And it was developed by Phil Cannella for times just like these. Register today, 1-800-722-9728. That's 800-722-9728. Or you could visit crashproofretirement.com. The Crash Proof Retirement Show with Phil Cannella and Joanne Small is heard live every Saturday right here on 850 WFTL from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
When all 20 grandkids are here and their parents are all running late. When you've been married 40 years but still plan a great date. When you've had 2 full servings of veggies and you're feeling really great.
With 2 full servings of veggies in every glass, there's nothing like the original V8 to fuel a full day. Get your V8 today.
Slow moving traffic in Palm Beach County right now. Nothing. 2 major crash clearing on Southern Boulevard and Lion Country Safari Road. And also, we are seeing some slowdowns on 95 South between Atlantic and Linton. Broward County's got our attention all morning long. The roadway finally reopened, the express lanes that is, in the northbound direction at Hollywood. Also, an earlier crash on South Flamingo Road northbound at Monarch Lakes Boulevard is moving out of the way. You got a crash tying a left lane 95 north at Davie with slow traffic from Marina Mile. And an on-ramp has a right lane tied with emergency vehicles Sawgrass Express north at a university. This traffic report brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. When danger is imminent, will you be prepared? Now, many mobile devices can bring you critical information from local sources you trust. With a unique sound and vibration, wireless emergency alerts keep you in the know. Wherever you are, learn more at ready.gov/alerts. That's your 850 WFTL traffic. I'm Pam Warner.
Politically correct millennials,
stupid people,
bad drivers,
overpaid entitled athletes.
Opinions on everything, in fact.
Hi, it's Jennifer and Bill.
Join us, 11 a.m. News Talk 850 WFTL.
When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. This is The Rich Stevens Show on News Talk 850 WFTL.
I kind of think I'd rather these things happen on a Monday because it just seems appropriate that everything goes down at the same time. I don't know, but it just seems like, with the tiredness and everything else, and why not just put it all together. The good thing is we have the rest of the week to look forward to, even though we just started. And if you just turn it on now, we just had some technical issues. It's all about Rich Stevens TV. You see, the thing has become popular, so I want it to be as perfect as possible, and then we end up with audio issues. So first we had, when we were doing the Facebook Live, we had picture issues, and now we have audio issues, but everything's fine. Everything's fixed now. So do me a favor, if you're on Facebook, share the Rich Stevens TV, and if you're watching us on YouTube, YouTube is the best way to watch it, by the way. And all the details, if you have no clue what I'm talking about, are on the website, 850WFTL.com. Just click on the Rich Stevens Show page and look for Rich Stevens TV. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll automatically get an alert saying, hey, we're broadcasting live right now. So just get in there, do this. It's the future here now. That's the best way I could tell you about it. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff to talk about today. 8 days from today, it's going to be an entirely different world that we're in. Hopefully, it's going to be a better world. Although there's a big part of me, I had a conversation over the weekend. There's a big part of me that thinks that we're going to have issues again in Florida. And I know a lot of people, a couple of people that I'm having a conversation with agree with me that look, here's the deal. Remember, it was a couple weeks ago when Hillary's campaign was saying, oh, it's in the bag. I made the comment, she's already at Bed Bath & Beyond ordering the sheets. That's how, they think that it's such a lock. It's not a lock. And you, of course, have an opportunity to control this situation to get out and vote. If the Democratic people think that this is such a lock, explain this to me. Hillary was here last week. She was here already. Actually, she was here twice last week, and she was here over the week. Oh, surprise visit on Saturday. And she went to Betty's, of all places, and a gay club in Wilton Manors trying to get the black vote and the gay vote. So that ought to tell you right there what her research is showing, that she needs desperately to get the black vote and the gay vote. And then she's coming back tomorrow. And yet they keep saying, well, it's locked up. It's in the bag. It's not in the bag. I'm telling you, this is not over. It's not over till the fat lady sings. 877-850-8585. What do you think about all this? 877-850-8585. And yes, I will talk about the Cubs because that's... here's the thing. I told you in the get-go, this was going to be a made-for-TV series. Obviously, it's a made-for-TV. It's probably going to go to Game 7 because they need the revenue. You don't think this thing really plays out the way it does, do you? 877-850-8585. Let's go to Ron in Tamarack. How are you today? Ron, are you there? No, Ron. Let's go to Harvey in Deerfield. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How's your mom?
Much better today. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. It's day by day.
Okay. As far as putting something on the ballot, you're too late. But more importantly, you brought something up on Friday, right before you got off the air, about secret meetings between Hillary Clinton, Brenda Snipes, Tim Kaine, and whoever's in charge of counterpart in Palm Beach County. I called the governor's office and I left him a message with his secretary. I tried to get through to Pam Bondi. It was impossible. I was fortunate enough for somebody within the Trump organization to put me through to his voicemail. I left him a frantic message that if he have to take action against this. We know that they are doing things behind the scenes. Now, please, Rich, you have a voice in the state, and you have a voice other places. Please stress this to your people and people within the campaign to get out there and stop this because they are causing voter fraud. I don't know how they're doing it, whether you push the button or you vote for Trump and it goes to Hawk, and they do this. They're doing it all over. So, and Soros also has these wonderful machines that do this automatically.
Well, what's going on in Texas, Harvey, which has been verified and confirmed. And let me explain
but
for
I'm
somebody.
I
got it. But let me just tell you, it started in Texas. This is the first place we heard about it, where people are going into an electronic machine and they're pressing the button for Donald Trump, and then it comes up that it registered for Hillary Clinton. Obviously, That's the same deal that happened in Illinois in 2008, if you recall. So now if it's happening there, where else is it happening, number one? Number two, when you go and vote, you have to make sure that you're voting for who you need to vote for and that vote is actually counting. The supervisor of elections here in South Florida, specifically Broward and Palm Beach, I'm telling you.
He's dirty in the bottom of my shoes.
Without a doubt. Why do you think she came out on Friday afternoon? She came out saying, there was no such meeting. There was no such meeting. She looked right into the cameras and said that. Well, guess what? There was a meeting. I have undeniable evidence of this from a source that was in the room with them. So how could you tell me that they weren't there, and yet she's going to get away with this? Now, you were not the only one that called the governor's office. I called the governor's office. We had other people calling governor's office. The reason you couldn't get through to Pam Bondi, apparently they were fielding calls all morning after I made those comments on Friday's show. Now, the good news is I've also talked to the Trump campaign, advised them, which is what prompted that email from the Trump campaign, if you're on their list, that tells people what you're supposed to do should you come across any kind of interesting, weird, strange, or doubtful things at the polls. That's what it was. The Rich Stevens show on Friday that prompted that email by the Trump campaign.
The lowest form of earth is a Democrat. That's all I've got to say.
People, listen, Harvey, I appreciate you and your call. People need to wake up. You need to realize what's going on here. This thing with the emails, it's so funny that now Hillary Clinton wants to make believe that she's the victim. She came out and made that speech on Friday, and it's just horrendous that she's the victim. It's all her. You see, what's going to happen here is, and we're going to get some more information, but I don't know when. But when all this is said and done and it comes out, and actually it's her words that just listen to Hillary.
I'd like to say a few words and then take your questions. I have now seen Director Comey's letter to Congress. We are 11 days out from perhaps the most important national election of our lifetimes. Voting is already underway in our country. So the American people deserve to get the full and complete facts immediately. The director himself has said he doesn't know whether the emails referenced in his letter are significant or not. I'm confident, whatever they are, will not change the conclusion reached in July. Therefore, it's imperative that the Bureau explain this issue in question, whatever it is, without any delay. So I look forward to moving forward to focus on the important challenges facing the American people, winning on November 8th, and working with all Americans to build a better future for our country. Thank you.
Now, you see, the difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton is obvious right there. She's reading a prepared script that they worked on for hours before she spoke late Friday afternoon, early evening. The difference there is what she's saying. She knows damn well from being involved in the federal government that the FBI couldn't possibly come up with a conclusion to this investigation in 10 days. It's impossible. What she's neglecting to mention is that the FBI knew about this a few days before, and then it got to a point where they had enough information where they could dive in and do this. That's what we need to talk about. All right, coming up next, my conversation with Donald J. Trump here on The Rich Stevens Show. I got to tell you, there's 8 days left. We can make a difference in this race. You can make a difference in this race. Stand by. Do not move. If you're watching Rich Stevens TV, hello and thanks for watching. We're going to take a quick time out. You are listening to The Rich Stevens Show.
The 2016 hurricane season is here, and we've got you covered. I'm Karen Curtis. We'll watch the tropics for you. News Talk 850 WFTL.
Feel confident in your investments, just like Crash Proof consumer Joanne Mattia, a marketing manager.
I heard about Crash Proof Retirement on the radio and decided it was something I needed to look into because I had just come out of the 2008 crash where I lost a substantial part of my 401k, which was the largest part of my savings. Phil and Joanne have done a really great job. It just seems to me that they're concerned with everyday people, and that's what was important to me. And when they're speaking with you, they take a personal interest in you, and I like that as well. I feel confident that I'm not going to lose my initial investment, my principal. Every year I'll have a review here. Going forward, I can be confident.
Register for the next Crash Proof event happening Wednesday, November 9th at the Doubletree Hilton in Palm Beach Gardens at 5 p.m. Call 800-722-9728 or go to crashproofretirement.com.
Florida is the Sunshine State. So let's give solar power the green light with Amendment 1. Amendment 1 is good for the environment, good for consumers, good for Florida. It guarantees your right to generate your own solar energy. By placing that right in Florida's Constitution, it keeps the politicians and the special interests from messing with it. Amendment 1 does solar the right way. Common sense consumer protections. No unfair subsidies, giving you protection from the politicians. It's clear, simple, and straightforward, and that's the right way to do solar. Solar power for the Sunshine State. Vote yes on Amendment 1 for the sun. Paid political advertisement paid for by Consumers for Smart Solar. 2640A Mitcham Drive, Tallahassee, Florida 32308.
The latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump in a statistical dead heat. Comes as the FBI secures a warrant to examine thousands of emails from a Clinton aide. ABC's Brad Milkey is in Ohio with more.
This was the tone less than a week ago.
What a great way to celebrate my birthday.
Democrats were openly talking about retaking the Senate, even the House, on the basis of a Clinton blowout. Now, as uncertainty looms and tempers flare around renewed FBI interest in her email, the tone has gone from chest thumping.
We're not going to be knocked off course.
To white-knuckling it across the finish line. Brad Milkey, ABC News, Cleveland.
Donald Trump seizing on the scandal, taking his message to blue states. ABC's Tom Yamas with details.
The Trump campaign feels they now have an opening in some of those states. They hit New Mexico yesterday, Michigan today, and though they're not as organized or organized at all on the ground in those blue states, they feel Clinton is very vulnerable.
Police in Oklahoma say Michael Dale Vance Jr., on the run for 8 days, was killed in a shootout with police last night. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Good morning. I'm Gerard Campbell with an 8:50 WFTL news break. Tragedy in a Coral Springs neighborhood. A mother and daughter found dead in a swimming pool. The bodies recovered from a pool at the Sherwood Square apartments. No word just yet on an official cause of death. Hillary Clinton campaigned in South Florida over the weekend. She was in Fort Lauderdale and Wilton Manors, and also at a Miami concert by Jennifer Lopez and her former husband, Mark Anthony. A bomb threat forcing the evacuation of a passenger jet at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. That jet eventually got underway to Dallas. And Halloween in South Florida. Some Miami-Dade residents scared about Zika. They'll be handing out mosquito repellent in some Zika areas in Miami. Right now, partly cloudy skies, 78 degrees in Boca Raton, partly cloudy skies, and 80 degrees in Hollywood. I'm Gerard Campbell. News Talk 850, WFTL.
When you're opening a new office location, but deadlines don't let up, you need to make sure your team can start working fast, which means all of a sudden, you're looking to buy new conference tables and chairs, laptops, and whiteboards quickly. Business cards from American Express Open can give you buying power to help cover the big purchases you need to make when you need to make them. Find out how American Express cards and services can help prepare you for growth at open.com. When your business is construction and you get a big job that has to be done in record time, you need to get the ball rolling, which means all of a sudden you're looking to buy enough sheetrock and lumber, steel, and other materials quickly. Business cards from American Express Open can give you buying power to help cover the big purchases you need to make when you need to make them. Find out how American Express cards and services can help prepare you for growth at open.com.
So you own a home and you're thinking about selling it. Do not sell that home. I got a better idea for you. Why don't you rent it out with the help of Invest Pro Properties? Let me explain why. Because home ownership It's at its lowest level in 51 years right now. And that's created an unprecedented demand for rentals right here in our area. In fact, the rental market's so hot, InvestPro Properties, they can't get enough properties to meet the demand. So here's what they'll do. They'll go out and they'll find you a great tenant, just a few weeks on average. Then they're going to manage everything. You don't have to do anything. You just sit back and cash the checks every month. I mean, they're going to do the rent collections. They're going to take care of the inspections. They're going to take care of those middle of the night phone calls. In other words, they don't go to you. They go to them, and so much more. And you pay nothing up front. There's no binding contract. You can cancel any time. And they even guarantee the tenants are going to perform for you. Well, you just sit back and cash the checks I told you about. InvestPro Properties. You should call them right now. 561-203-7022. 561-203-7022. Listen, if you're planning a move for any reason, whatever you do not sell your home because you could be potentially leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Put the money in your pocket instead. Get in touch with InvestPro Properties today. 561-203-7022. That's 561-203-7022 for InvestPro Properties, your rental property experts.
I'm meteorologist Chris Farrell for CBS 12 News, and a nice Monday underway. Our skies mostly sunny today, finally back in the sunshine. Still breezy, with the east wind at 15 to 20 miles an hour and higher gusted times. The high day near 85. Tonight, partly cloudy, 75. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a little breezy with northeast wind at 20. And the high on Tuesday, 85.
Tail end of rush hour not looking too bad in Palm Beach County. We are seeing reports of an accident on the Turnpike North at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Minor slowdowns ahead. Also over into Broward County, the roadway reopened from an earlier crash. 95 Express North at Hollywood Boulevard. Still going to see slowdowns. Got another crash clearing. 95 North at Davie, and lane restrictions have been lifted along the Sawgrass North at University. Emergency vehicles have left the scene. This traffic report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. If you are involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA is a national nonprofit organization developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. For more information, visit positivecoach.org. That's your 850 WFTL traffic. I'm Pam Warner.
Being an independent means never having to say you're sorry. It's Joyce Kaufman. Catch me every weekday at noon right here on News Talk 850 WFTL.
At work, at home, or in the car, he's always with you. Here's Rich Stevens on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Here's the deal. It's so hard to get to know someone when there are so many lies being thrown around. And it's hard to understand why this 2016 presidential race is like no other that we've ever seen. I know some people claim to think they know all the answers, most of the time because they read it on the internet. That's a problem. And this is why I asked Donald J. Trump to join us right here on The Rich Stevens Show. Mr. Trump, welcome to The Rich Stevens Show.
Thank you very much, Rich. Great honor.
Listen, thanks for taking the time out of your crazy schedule to be with us today. Has all this craziness surprised you at all?
Well, a little bit, I'll be honest. I thought that I would do fine. I didn't know that I'd have, these commanding leads, and, we have such big leads. I don't think I knew, I don't think I ever envisioned this kind of a thing. And also, the biggest story in all of politics, all over worldwide, is how many people are coming to vote. And as you know, it's millions and millions of people more are voting now than voted 4 years ago, and frankly, than ever voted. Nobody's ever seen this, where lines are 5 blocks long. So it's really been very exciting and very gratifying.
I got to tell you, a lot of people that listen to the Rich Stevens Show support you, but I also have to tell you that I know because of my posts on social media that a lot of people are listening right now that are undecided. I want you to talk to them, Mr. Trump, and why should you be their choice?
Well, I think what happened, Rich, when I first decided to do this, I was looking at the Iran deal. I was looking at all of the tremendous stupidity of our government and our leadership, the incompetence, the things that we were doing, giving $150 billion to Iran and getting nothing for it. And we shouldn't have even negotiated until we had our prisoners back, as an example, and we would have done that very easily. But the gross incompetence, the trade deals are so bad. We're losing $500 billion a year with China. Hard to believe. It's just not even believable, but these are the numbers. And we're losing $58 billion a year with Mexico, and they kill us on the border, and they just absolutely destroy us on the border with what's going on. And they're destroying us with trade. They're taking so many of our businesses. And you look at Japan with the cars pouring in, and yet massive trade deficits. And, so trade is a disaster. Our military is absolutely in terrible shape. And we're at a point we can't even beat ISIS. And we have to rebuild our military and make it great again and make it modern again. And we have to do that. We have no choice. And people hear this, Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced. Common Core is horrible. We have education coming out of Washington, D.C. by bureaucrats, and education should be local. And we're doing very poorly in education worldwide. We're considered absolutely one of the lowest, and it's hard to believe. Countries that you've never heard of us are doing better than we do. So, Rich, with all of these things that I bring up and others, I went to number one in the polls, and I stayed there.
Now, listen, you're a huge supporter of law enforcement, and, thank you for that. South Florida law enforcement supports you wholeheartedly.
Good. Yes, I am.
And they thank you for standing up for law enforcement. But how are we going to fix these problems with so many cops being shot?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know, but when I was up in New Hampshire, and I won in New Hampshire, but I met with some of the police up there, great people, and I think I'm being supported uniformly by the police. Even when I land, I have officers there that give their time, not for pay, to take me into town and make sure everything's perfect. These are incredible people that are absolutely mistreated. It's very unfortunate. But I call for the death penalty for anybody shooting a police officer. And we could do that on a federal basis. We could do it on any basis they want. But, you'll have these guys walk up to a police car and shoot him in the back of the head when nobody's around, and this is happening more and more, and it's disgraceful. So I actually called for the death penalty for anybody shooting a police officer, and the various law enforcement agencies, all of New England supports me. I mean, massive numbers of police, and every time I'm with the police, they all thank me. So something's going on, but I think that was forget about popular thing to do. I don't care about popular. It's the right thing to do. So I just did that recently.
Absolutely. Now listen, we're talking to Donald J. Trump. So the commercials are horrendous, and the millions of dollars that's being wasted on this crap.
Yeah.
What's been the most frustrating part of this campaign for you so far?
Well, I think the fact that we're doing so well, and yet I'm fighting this establishment is, they're so upset that somebody's coming in. I'm not taking money. I don't want any money. I'm funding my own campaign, which is expensive, but I'm funding my own campaign. And I'm not going to be controlled by the special interest. I'm not controlled by anybody but the people themselves because, I'm not accepting money. So the oil and gas industry, nobody controls me. I'm going to do what's right for the country. They hate it. The people that you see doing these ads because they're not going to have any control and they're not going to make the money. The people that are going to make the money are the people that I am. In other words, I'm representing the people of this country, and you can't do that well if you have all of these people pouring money into your campaign and you owe them favors, and that's what's happened. So we have a lot of people against me, and they're special interest people. And that's okay. And amazingly, the voters figured it out. It's an amazing thing with all the horrible ads. And they're false ads, too. But with all of those ads, it's sort of an amazing thing.
And I'm told they're going to get even worse over the next few days before we lead up to Tuesday here in Florida.
Yeah, probably. They ought to save their money.
Listen, if you need a couple bucks, by the way.
Okay, I'll get it for you. It's a good idea.
Mr. Trump, if you could pick anyone in the world to be your neighbor, who would that be and why?
Well, always my parents. I mean, I had two wonderful parents, no longer with us, but I had two wonderful parents. So I would say always my parents, nobody close.
What about an embarrassing moment? What's your most embarrassing moment?
Well, I've had some. I mean, embarrassing is when they say bad things about me that aren't true in ads. I mean, when they spend $30 million like the last couple of weeks, they spent $30 million on ads. And, I've got a family watching television, and my boy says, why do they say those bad things about you, Daddy? In its own way, that's embarrassing, and they're false ads. They're not true. So, I'm not sure that I love that. Thinking about one thing now, Rich, I'm thinking about getting this deal closed. I'm a closer, and I like to close it up, and I want to get this deal closed up.
Mr. Trump, is there something that would surprise people that we don't know about you?
Yeah, I'm a nice person, actually. I love people. I want to help people. And, you know, you read these stories, you think he's a terrible person. No, I'm a nice person. I like helping people, which is why I'm running, because I didn't need to do this. Believe me, it's tough, and it's not, you know, it's nasty. It's really nasty.
How does Donald Trump relax?
By working. I'm a worker. I wouldn't be Obama, where he goes away so much. I mean, I'm a person that really relaxes by working. I enjoy working. I like what I do. I have always enjoyed working. So, in a way, that's a bigger form of relaxation for me than taking a vacation.
Listen, if you would indulge me, can we play a little word association? I'll give you a word, and you tell me the first thing that pops into your head?
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
All right, Florida.
Beautiful.
Ice cream.
Delicious.
How about business?
Fun.
Hands.
Strong.
Hillary.
Troubled.
Mr. Trump, you are just an amazing person. And listen, before I let you go, and I appreciate you taking time to be with us on the Rich Stevens Show. Hopefully we get you in the studio sometime soon.
Sure.
Could you do me a personal favor?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you would do this for me today. In honor of me following you on Twitter, do you think you could follow me back at Rich Stevens on Twitter? Would you do that for me?
Yeah, I'll work that out. I'll see if I can get that done, Rich. Okay?
I tell you what, just hit that follow back button and you'd make my day.
Okay.
Mr. Trump,
I will.
I appreciate your time and all the best of luck, and anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to give us a call.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, too. It's really been great.
Thank you.
I've heard a lot about it. Thanks a lot, Rich.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you. That's Donald Trump. The question will be now, will Donald Trump follow me back on Twitter? You're listening to The Rich Stevens Show.
Get the 850 WFTL app for Android or Apple today. Join exclusive contests and leave us a talkback and be heard on the air. Get it at 850WFTL.com.
I want to talk about The Joint, because I know that sounds a little funny to you, right? You're wondering if I'm talking about marijuana. No, I'm talking about chiropractic care, because regular chiropractic care is a way for you to manage joint pain, back pain, neck pain, which makes up a large proportion of healthcare expenses and have increased substantially over the years. Now, a chiropractor is usually not available to you without an appointment, and then you have to worry about costs. Well, that's where The Joint comes in. They have created a scenario where you can walk in without an appointment to any one of their locations, and you will get to see a chiropractor, and your first visit for $29. That's the initial visit price. The Joint Chiropractic, with offices in Wellington, in Boynton Beach, in Palm Beach Garden. They use the activator and the drop table. They are incredible. And I'm going to be doing a special event there a week from Friday at The Joint. Visit them on the web at thejoint.com.
Listen, do you need some quality home health care services? I want you to call Safe and Steady. Here's the phone number, 561-237-5252. That's 561-237-5252. Why Safe and Steady? It's pretty simple. They got the best caregivers. They have the best customer service. And just, of course, the services that they provide are going to be different and unique for every situation, but standard, normal services, bathing, cooking, personal care, housekeeping, errands, transportation. And listen, Safe and Steady can do live-in. Safe and Steady can do hourly. They can do post-rehab. They can do hospital care. I got to tell you, my mom being in a hospital when I can't be there, and Safe and Steady is there when I can't be there, to me, that's a godsend. Take advantage of the services of Safe and Steady if you need some help from a home health care provider. 561-237-5252. 561-237-5252. They do short-term, they do long-term, and so much more. Really, they accept all forms of long-term care insurance and private pay. I'm talking about Safe and Steady. 561-237-5252. Yesterday at the hospital, I recommended Safe and Steady 5 different times to 5 different people. I just happened to overhear conversations. The hospital, they tell you who they suggest that you should go with. That's so unethical. This is why you need to be educated. And I'm telling you, Safe and Steady is the company you want to get in touch with. 561-237-5252. That's 561-237-5252 for Safe and Steady.
Let me tell you about my friends at Alpha Impact Windows and Doors. I just gave them the order for my new Hurricane Impact windows for my house. I trust them with my safety and the protection of my property. Hurricane season is here, folks, and you got to protect your family and your property. You still have time to do it if you call now. Remember Hurricane Wilma? That devastating hurricane hit South Florida Florida on October 24th. And late season hurricanes can be devastating. You'll get a free estimate to improve your home with storm-proof, burglar-proof, energy-efficient windows and doors. The substantial discount you receive on your homeowner's insurance premium can often pay for the windows themselves. They'll show you how to get your windows without any additional money from your monthly household budget. They are platinum dealers of PGT windows and doors, which means you will get the lowest possible price. PGT is the best in the industry, so don't let another day pass before you call Alpha Impact Windows and Doors at 866-64-ALPHA. That's 866-64-ALPHA. Or you can visit them online at alphaimpactwindows.com. Visit their state-of-the-art showroom or call them at 866-64-ALPHA.
I want to tell you about AutoBuy. This is the only way that you should ever think about selling your car. Why? Well, there's several reasons. The most important is because AutoBuy is always going to pay the max. That's what their business is based on. Their website, WePayTheMax.com. Well, it says it all. They say everything's in a name. There's the name, WePayTheMax.com. AutoBuy has 5 locations. There's one near you from the Treasure Coast to Miami, or if it's the opposite way, from Miami to the Treasure Coast. They're open till 7 o'clock tonight. If you're thinking about selling your car, your SUV, your motorcycle, whatever the vehicle is, take it to AutoBuy today in 20 minutes or less. They'll give you a certified evaluation right there on the spot. And you bring your title with you, and you like their offer, you give them the title, and they'll pay you the cash right there on the spot. That's the AutoBuy difference. Listen, the fact is, when you go to a car dealer and you want to trade in your car, or if you go to one of these places that just takes cars and resells them, they're never going to pay you what you really have worth in that car. AutoBuy, they know the cars that they need to send all over the country right now. So if your car happens to be one of those cars, well, they're going to pay you the max. And if it's not one of those cars, they're still going to pay you the max. That's why I encourage you to get online, go to WePayTheMax.com, or just get into an AutoBuy location today, sometime before 7, and see why everybody's talking about AutoBuy. Do a little search online. Go to Google reviews. They're all positive reviews. Tons of them from your friends and neighbors right here in South Florida. The website, WePayTheMax.com. That's what AutoBuy does every day. They pay the max. WePayTheMax.com for my friends at AutoBuy.
What's your plan for retirement? Listen to Money Essentials Radio with Alicia Alvarez of Essential Financial Services, Sunday morning at 9:30.
When I sit with my clients, the first thing I want to do and I want to ask them is, what do you want your money to do for you?
Learn about strategies that can help protect and grow your portfolio, maximize your Social Security benefits, and help generate sustainable retirement income. Money Essentials Radio with Alicia Alvarez, Sunday morning at 9:30 here on News Talk WFTL.
Tail end of rush hour not looking too bad in Palm Beach County. We are seeing reports of an accident on the Turnpike North at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Minor slowdowns ahead. Also over into Broward County, the roadway reopened from an earlier crash. 95 Express North at Hollywood Boulevard, still going to see slowdowns. Got another crash clearing. 95 North at Davie, and lane restrictions have been lifted along the Sawgrass North at University. Emergency vehicles have left the scene. This traffic report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. If you are involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA is a national nonprofit organization developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. For more information, visit positivecoach.org. That's your 850 WFTL traffic. I'm Pam Warner.
South Florida's station for the Seminole Nation.
Francois dropping, looking, crossing route, throws, caught, touchdown FSU, 96 yards.
News Talk 850 WFTL. The Rich Stevens Show comes with everything you see here. Wait a second. Now, here's Rich.
There's really nothing here. That's the whole myth. It's all smoke and mirrors. How are you? I'm Rich Stevens. 877-850-8585. 877-850-8585. Listen, if you're on hold, hang on. I want to get to your calls. But I have to tell you that on Election Day morning, we're doing a live broadcast. We're taking a Rich Stevens Show on the road on Election Day to Delray Beach. We're going to be at Reuven's Restaurant. It is on Jog Road by Lake Ida Road in Delray Beach, right next to the big Publix there. It's Election Day morning. First, we're going to do breakfast starting at 8 o'clock. We'll have a breakfast. The restaurant's going to be open. You come and join us for breakfast. And we're going to have a Rich Stevens Show VIP table So you can sit at the VIP table, join me, Rich Stevens, for breakfast, a little talk about the election, leading up to the 9 o'clock broadcast, where, as I said, we'll do it live on Election Day from 9 to 11 from Reuven. So whatever you're doing, please make some plans to stop by and say hello, join the conversation, watch the live broadcast on Election Day. And I'll give you another chance to win one of the VIP seats at the Rich Stevens VIP table. Coming up in just a little bit. I'll tell you when to call for that. 877-850-8585. Joe in Fort Lauderdale, how are you today?
Hey, Rich, Joe from Fort Lauderdale. Great guest.
Thank you.
It's going to be a nice change of pace to have somebody in the White House who's actually going to work for us instead of the cronies that put him in there.
Would be, right? Well, people need to get out and vote and make a difference. That's what we've been saying, Joe, for quite a long time. The thing is, the reason I wanted to replay that interview with Donald Trump, and when we talked to him, I guess it was a month or so ago, is because everything that he said then is the same stuff he's saying right now. He's not Hillary. Hillary has changed her message so many times, and you never know what you're going to get. She plays to wherever she is. I mean, if you listen to that, by the way, I got to tell you, I don't know if you've seen this. And I told this guy, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to, excuse the expression, out him if he doesn't want to be outed. There's a friend of mine that lives in Boca, and he posted on Facebook his dog. The dog is adorable, wearing a shirt and tie and a Republican button. And he told me that his dog, when Hillary comes on TV for any kind of commercial or speech, the dog growls and barks at the screen. When Donald Trump comes on, the dog sits there and just wags his tail. It's incredible. Animals, especially dogs, and I've said this for years, I learned this from my mom, dogs are smarter than most people give them credit for. The dog knows. I told this guy, please let me come over and videotape this because that could be the viral video sensation that I've been trying desperately to find. The dog growls and barks at Hillary on the screen, wags his tail when Donald Trump is speaking. I mean, that's incredible. 877-850-8585. Gary in West Palm Beach, how are you today?
Hey, Rich. Good morning.
How are you?
First of all, I want to thank you so much for having my next president on the radio. It just brought tears to my eyes because I'm 60 years old and finally going to have somebody up there that's telling the truth.
That's important, and I'm glad you were moved by listening to Donald Trump. And again, that's why I wanted you to hear the side of him that is not going to look. I don't do a political show. You know this, Gary. But why not talk to somebody as a person? Because realistically, he's a person just like you and I. He just happens to be doing a lot better than we are, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
And he's not a politician, which is why I think he's going to make a great president.
Me too. Hey, Rich, can I just say really quick about the emails, okay?
Go ahead.
I don't know the date it was, but a few months ago when James Comey was up there, I was listening to the radio, which I do every day, and I'm listening to him go on for 10 minutes, and I'm going, all right, man, she's going down for being a crooked person finally, right? But when he said that one word, but, my stomach dropped, and it says, oh, my God, she's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Yesterday or the day before, when I heard that he reopened the investigation, it just made me feel so happy and just so relieved.
Yeah, Gary, there's got to be something that they got if they went this far, this close to the election, and I can't wait to find out what it is, but this is why it's more important than ever to vote for Donald Trump, because if you vote for Hillary, we could end up with Tim Kaine being president, and I got to tell you, that would be even worse. Thanks for your call, Gary. Quick time out. This is The Rich Stevens Show.
Can't listen live? Never miss another show. Joyce, Rich, Jen, and Bill get the podcasts. Listen anytime.